hapon, Mapúa Malayans. In just a few days, the Mapúa MCM Supreme Student Council Elections 2026 will take place, a moment when the voice and pulse of every student will be heard. Today, we gathered to meet the 11 candidates vying for positions in the SSC, each aspiring to become a representative and servant of the Mapúa Malayan College's Mindanao student body. This is Voices Before Votes, the Mapúa MCM Supreme Student Council meeting the Avance 2026. Before we officially begin, we would like again to remind all participating candidates to keep your cameras turned on throughout the duration of the program, unless otherwise instructed by the organizers. We also ask everyone to keep your microphones muted when you are not speaking. As we commence this program, we remind everyone to observe proper decorum throughout the program. Please refrain from interrupting candidates while they are speaking. This forum is intended to promote informed decision-making and constructive dialogue. We therefore ask everyone to engage respectfully. Now, to formally begin our program, may I request everyone to please observe silence for the ecumenical prayer, followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. For the Catholics, you may do the sign of the cross. For the non-Catholics, do what is necessary. So to formally begin our program, may I request everyone to please observe silence for the ecumenical prayer, followed by the singing of the Philippine national anthem. For the Catholics, you may do the sign of the cross. For the non-Catholics, do what is necessary. Silence. As we do our prayer, for the Catholics, you may do the sign of the cross. For the non-Catholics, do what is necessary. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we thank you for today, for a very productive day. We would like to ask for your guidance in our meeting the Avance. Touch the hearts and minds of the candidates and the people who are watching the live to ensure that informed choices are being campaigned, or the voters are aware of what the elections is all about. May we ask your guidance for the platform presentation and the question and answer portion, that it may be a productive segment of our meeting, the Avance. This we ask in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulty. And now we are ready to proceed to the next part of our program. Once again, magandang hapon, Malayans. You're now watching the Meeting the Avance for the Supreme Student Council elections, kung saan makikilala at maririnig natin ang 11 kandidato na naghahangad na magsilbi sa kataas-taasang konseho ng MMCM. Sa loob ng 2 oras, bibigyan natin sila ng pagkakataong ilahad ang kanilang mga plataforma, sagutin ang mahahalagang issue, at ipakita ang uri ng pamumunong nais nilang ialay sa ating komunidad. To formally welcome us this afternoon, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Lindy Paul Aldaba, Director of the Office of the Student Services, to deliver the opening remarks. A virtual round of applause.
Right. Okay, so to our respected school administrators, faculty, and our visionary candidates for the Supreme Student Council for 2026-2027, and most importantly, to the vibrant and empowered student body of Mapúa Malayan Colleges Mindanao, a resounding good afternoon to all. So, today is not just a standard school event, but it is a powerful celebration of our collective student voice and democracy. As we open this year's Supreme Student Council meeting, the Avance, we are reminded that leadership is not a popularity contest or a collection of catchy slogans, but a commitment to the substance, actionable platforms, and dedicated service. So the candidates before you or who will present later have stepped up to carry our collective dreams forward, but the true power today belongs to you, the students, as your vote is your voice in shaping the future of our campus culture and students' representation. So I urge everyone to listen critically, question intentionally, and discern wisely so that we may choose leaders who will stand up when it matters most. So let this meeting the Avance be defined by mutual respect, intellectual discourse, and a shared pride in our institution. So without further ado, I formally declare the Mapua Malayan Colleges Mindanao Supreme Student Council meeting the Avance officially open. Thank you and mabuhay ang mga estudyanteng Mapuan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aldaba, for the warm welcome. We now move to the first major segment of the meeting, the Avance, the platform presentation. This is the candidates' opportunity to introduce themselves, present their advocacies, and outline the programs they hope to pursue should they earn the trust and mandate of the student body. Each candidate will be given 3 minutes to deliver their platform. We kindly ask all candidates to maximize their allotted time. The order of presentation will follow the sequence of elective positions, beginning with the senatorial candidates, followed by the candidates for Public Information Officer, Auditor, Treasurer, Assistant Secretary General, Secretary General, Internal Vice President, and finally, the President. We also remind everyone that this is an official election activity. We therefore ask all candidates, supporters, to observe proper decorum. And now let us begin the platform presentation, starting with our first candidate for Senator, Mr. Matthew Joshua E. Metz.
Hello, good afternoon. Marinig po ako.
Yes, you are audible, Mr. Metz.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Matthew Joshua Metz, a fourth-year BS Psychology student and a former SSC Senator. Serving in the SSC taught me that leadership is not just about holding a position. It is about taking responsibilities. During my previous term, I experienced both success and challenges. I also had my own lapses, particularly in communication and student engagement. Instead of letting those define me, I choose to learn from them. Those experiences help me understand what our students and truly needs on how I can serve better. If I given the opportunity to serve again as your SSC senator, my advocacy is stronger representation through action. Because of this, I believe representation goes beyond listening to concerns. It means taking action, strengthening collaboration, and making sure every student has a voice to be heard. To make this possible, I will focus on two key pillar platforms. First, we have the voice for the student representation engagement and the empower or organized growth and academic transparency. First, we have the voice or the student representation engagement. Through KAPE, I will continue supporting the Kapihan with AHB as a platform for open dialogue between the students and the SSC and the administration as well, to ensure concerns are heard and properly followed throughout. The second one is the bridge. I will also strengthen regular consultation with the students, organizations president, and clubs leaders because effective representation begins with the listening. Second is the empower and organizational growth and academic transparency. I have two. We have the rise and clear. The rise, I will work closely with the CSAD to better support the recognized clubs and departmental organization. Second is through CLEAR, I will advocate for greater awareness for the student rights and university or the institutional policies while promoting their fair and transparent implementation policies. I may not promise instant change, but I can promise to listen, to learn, and to serve with integrity. Leadership is not just about being perfect. It is about continuously improving and being accountable and putting student first. Once again, I am Matthew Joshua Metz, your aspiring SSC Senator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Metz, for that. And now let us proceed to our next candidate for Senator, Miss Angel Grace V. Tamisan.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Angel Grace Vitamisan, and I am honored to present my platform as an aspiring SSC senator. As students in a predominantly online learning environment, I believe that student engagement should go beyond attending classes and participating in events. My vision is to build a student community that is more connected, collaborative, and empowered, where every student has opportunities not only to participate, but to contribute. My first initiative is Campus Commons, a digital community beyond the classroom. I envision a centralized Microsoft Teams space where students can connect to academic discussions, find study buddies, discover scholarships, and internship opportunities, promote student businesses, and simply interact with fellow students. My goal is to make our online campus feel more connected and engaging, even outside class hours. Second is PAS, or peer-assisted study sessions. Before every major examination, students will vote for the subject they find most challenging. Volunteer peer tutors will then conduct online review sessions through Microsoft Teams with recordings and review materials made available afterward. This initiative encourages collaborations by allowing students to learn and support one another. Lastly, I propose passion project. I believe that some of the best ideas come from students themselves. Through this initiative, students can submit proposals for projects that benefit the student body, whether academic, creative, or community-oriented. The SSC will help connect selected proposals with the appropriate offices and organizations, providing guidance and support to turn those ideas into reality. These three initiatives share one purpose: to create more opportunities for students to connect, collaborate, and to contribute. Rather than limiting engagement to occasional events, I want to build campus community where students actively support one another, share ideas, and make a lasting impact. If given the opportunity to serve as your SSC senator, I will continue to listen, represent your voices, and work towards initiatives that bring our student community closer together. Thank you, and I humbly ask for your support.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Tamisan. And now let us proceed to the third candidate for Senator, Ms. Trisha May G. Santa Maria.
Hello po, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm not here to give you a rehearsed speech full of empty promises just to put on my title on a resume. I'm running here because I want to be a person who actually listens to you, stands up, and gets things done, which is why I have these three simple platforms to make our student life safer, more transparent, and a just bit more exciting. My first and foremost, my name is Rachel Meiji Santa Maria, your third year multimedia arts student. And today I stand before you as a candidate of the Supreme Student Council Senator. First, let's talk about our daily lives on the campus. College is already stressful enough, and academic pressure shouldn't come at the cost of our mental health. That's why my first focus is a safe space. I want to advocate for sensory friendly decompression zones on campus. If you are neurodivergent, or if you're just experiencing a massive sensory overload and I need a quiet place to breathe and recharge, you deserve a space to do that. I also want to make sure all of our council events have sensory warnings for loud sounds or flashing lights, and that we post updates in multiple formats like visuals, text, and audio. Because here, inclusion shouldn't just be a buzzword, it needs to be a standard. Second, let's talk about our passions outside the classroom. It's about time we say good game and well played, or in short terms, GGWP. Esports isn't just playing games in our rooms or just an event in school intrams or departmental events. It's a massive community built on strategy, teamwork, and serious talent. As your running senator, I will do my best to make esports an officially recognized, fully supported student sector with actual funding. Whether you're a competitive player, a casual gamer, a shoutcaster, a graphic designer, or a multimedia artist, I want to build a space where we can broadcast our talents and support our players representing Mapua Malayan colleges in collegiate leagues. Let's play, let's compete, and let's win as one. Lastly, none of this would matter if we don't trust our student council. Too often, the SSC feels like a closed group making decisions behind closed doors. We need a clear lens on how things are run. I'm talking about real radical transparency. I want to publish simple visual dashboards like on Microsoft Teams so you can exactly see where our budget goes and what we are working on. I would also like to set up a permanent anonymous Ask the Council digital forum with a guaranteed 48-hour response time. If you have a question, you deserve an honest answer. If you have a problem, I will bring it straight to the Senate floor and fight to fix it. At the end of the day, a senator's job is simple to be your microphone to the things we want to talk about online and turn them into actual action. Let's build a campus of safe space where everyone belongs. Let's bring our game face on and look forward together through a clear lens. Once again, I am Tricia Santa Maria, your rerunning SSC Senator. Thank you po.
Thank you so much for that, Miss Santa Maria. And now, let us proceed to our fourth and final candidate for Senator, Mr. Justin Dane T. Girhan.
Hello, am I audible po?
Yes, you are.
All right, so good day, everyone. I am Justin Dane T. Girhan, a private pilot license holder, a first-year entrep student, and I am your aspiring senator for the school year 2026-2027. My leadership experience is wide, from the president of the high school student government to the captain of our football team to the senator and the first-year senator. These experiences have taught me a lot, and with these experiences, I am confident that I am ready to serve. Now, this leads me to my platform, Project Easy, short for Empower, Advocate, Support, and Yield. We empower. So through this, we have Project Connect to simplify the process of clubs and organizations to join and host their own events by promoting clear guidelines and transparent requirements, by bettering conditions with the student council and the school offices. Project Showcase, for every major campus event, orgs will be able to present themselves, exhibit, and workshop, allowing students to match their interests. Next, we have Advocate, which through this we have Project Voice, hold a regular consultation with students, gathering concerns, and bringing them up. But the heart of this is Project Pulse. Publish monthly reports of information informing students about council accomplishments, ongoing projects, submitted concerns, and actions taken by the administration to promote transparency and accountability. For S, we have Support. We support student growth. Through this, we have Discover. We organize and enhance organization fairs like Club Fair to introduce orgs through live demonstration to different students. But the pride of this is Project Boost, to provide organizational support through leadership workshops, event planning and assistance, promoting campaigns, and collaborative with the student council that help clubs and organizations grow sustainably. And why we have Yield. This is through this project Spotlight. This is a feature outstanding organizations, student leaders, volunteers, athletes, artists, and innovators through Student Council social media platform to celebrate student achievement and strengthen school pride. I believe every student has a different interest, goal, and aspirations. Some find their place in academics, while others thrive in sports. Because every student is different, one organization cannot alone represent everyone. My goal is to empower every club and organization so they can create meaningful opportunities for students to explore their passions, build friendships, and discover where they truly belong. By empowering our organization, we create a happier student body, a stronger campus culture, and a school community where every student has the chance to grow, bringing closer the future of excellence and relevance. Once again, I'm Justin Dainty Girhan, an aspiring senator for the school year 2026-2027.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Girhan. We now move to the position of the Public Information Officer, Ms. Anika Francine G. Cabana. Once again, for the position of PIO, Ms. Anika is not present, so we move on to our next candidate for auditor, Mr. Gavin P. Hilo. Is Mr. Gavin around? I think wala si Gavin. Now let's proceed to the next candidate for treasurer, Mr. Zeldrick M. Villarino.
So, magandang araw mga kapwa ko Mapuan. For those who don't know me yet, ako po inyong kalingkod at kaabay, Delrick Villarino, your current SSC treasurer for this school year, and I am running once again to serve you. So, let's be honest for a second. When you hear the word treasurer, of course, the first thing that comes to your mind, person holding a calculator. Someone facing you for amounts and stuff, or maybe name at the bottom of a for that doesn't read that. I get it. But today, I'm standing here to change the narrative. Serving as a treasurer during the transition period from face-to-face to online classes, it's an honor. But it also opened my eyes. I realized that keeping your money safe is only half the job. The real challenge and uh, the challenge that I have for you guys is making sure that your student council actively works to make your life easier, especially now that we are hopefully going back to campus face to face. No more boxes on screen, and we're gonna share the same polls, sharing a physical space. And because hopefully we are gonna be back, I want to give back to you. I don't just want to be like what I said, better. Treasurer this year, with your trust, I want to be the best treasurer the student body has ever had. And we will achieve this through my platforms. So these platforms that I am presenting. So first, being the path. Transparency shouldn't be a core to look for. So for sure, some of you have questions where your funds go. May it be a membership fee, event fee, and etc. With this, I am hoping that we could have or will launch a centralized, easy to read digital financial dashboard for every treasurer and auditor there is on every student organization and clubs. So the students would have to ask where their money went because they are able to see it in real time because your trust is our currency. Second, hopefully, we are going to launch a student org budget navigator and paperwork hub. So now that we are back face to face, we know the nightmare of paperwork when it comes to budget requests and such. I know some of you guys can relate to this. Which office do we go for budget requests? How do we fill out these forms that we need to fill out without getting rejected a lot of times? So as a treasurer, my office will make this simple. We'll create a step-by-step guide, or you can just talk to me and go to my office for the directories of the right MMCM office to approach and clear templates on how to fill out financial forms. We will cut the confusion so you can focus on making your org events amazing. And my fellow Mapuans, leadership isn't just about holding a position. It's about making system work for everyone, for you and not against you. You deserve a treasurer who doesn't just count the funds but makes the entire process easier for everyone. Once again, this is Elric Villarino. Viva Mapua.
Thank you so much, Mr. Villarino. And now we call on the candidate for the Assistant Secretary General, Ms. Juliana Luis I. Honor.
Hello, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. So, good day, fellow Mapuans. I am Juliana Luis Honor, an incoming third-year computer science student, also a student developer, and your candidate for Assistant Secretary General. Now, my time as both the CSS President and the CCIS Board of Directors showed me that the desire to serve, to listen, and to defend student rights shouldn't stop at the borders of a single college. Now, I am stepping up to the executive level to scale the same meticulous organizations and relentless advocacy to the entire Mapúa MCM student body through two core pillars. Now, my first pillar is excellence. Now, the secretariat shouldn't be an invisible clerical corner. It is the engine of the room of the council, and I am pushing for SAYUD, or simplified and accessible yearly official documentation, to keep our logs, decisions, and reports jargon-free and public. Now, to make this a reality, I propose to load or systematic unified logbook of organized documents, a centralized open access digital archive where any Mapuan can just instantly track resolutions, finances, and forms without needing permissions. No gatekeeping, just direct access. Now, our second pillar is relevance. Through Tindog, or tenacious initiative for navigating and defending our growth, or simply to stand up, I promise to be your fierce and vocal advocate. When a sudden policy or schedule changes create friction, I won't just sit back and take minutes. I will stand up and speak up for you. Now, through dual or direct, unobstructed, and open door liaison or within reach, I will bridge the physical digital gap to keep myself accessible to back this up. I propose Tabang, or Trackable Assistance and Bidirectional Advocacy Network Group. It is a live public-facing student concern tracker. Now, you will be able to resubmit issues and watch their progress live from submitted to under discussion, then to resolve. Now, let us build a council that doesn't just record progress, but actively drives it. Once again, I am Juliana Honor, and let us sayod, let us duol, and together let us tindog. Now, tinuod nga pag-alaga dili lang sa pulong kundi dili sa buhat. Daghang salamat ug maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan.
Thank you so much then, Ms. Honor. Next, we hear from the candidate for Secretary General, Ms. Ayesa Shane C. De Luna. Is Ms. De Luna around? Okay, let us proceed now to the candidate for Vice President for Internal Affairs, Ms. Althea Ann H. Eudoro.
Good afternoon. Am I audible po ba?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so good day, everyone. I am Althea Chodoro, an incoming fourth-year BS Pharmacy student and your outgoing SSC president. So throughout my officership in the council, I have learned that meaningful leadership is not measured only by the number of events that we organize as a council, but by the systems we build, the leaders we empower, and the impact that we leave behind. So that is why, as your aspiring internal vice president, my platforms are anchored on these goals. So I want to build a sustainable system. I want to empower student leaders, and I want to prioritize, of course, our students. So my first pillar is that we will build, because I believe strong service begins with strong leaders. So through Lead Mapua, I will institutionalize a leadership and organizational development program conducted at the start and at the end of every academic year for the SSC officers, the committee members, the organization officers, and the aspiring student leaders. So this program will equip our student leaders with a practical skills in leadership, project management, organizational development, and governance, along with a committee development program for our sports, esports, creatives, productions, technical, and logistics committees of the council. So throughout With this, we will hold a regular planning sessions, capacity building workshops to strengthen our internal operations and to ensure that every committee works efficiently and collaboratively. My second pillar is that we will connect. So through SSC Connect, we will have a multi-consultation and coordination meetings in collaboration with our SSC senators, student organizations, clubs, and CSAS. So this meeting will serve as a platform to align our calendars, our to address organizational concerns, to identify opportunities where we can collaborate and strengthen communication across all of these student organizations. My third pillar is that we will act because representation must always be accompanied by transparency and accountability. So we will establish a more centralized student concerns and action tracker where the students can submit their concerns through a permanent online platform. So this will be consolidated categorized and endorsed to the appropriate offices, and then we will categorize them as under review, ongoing, or pending coordination. So this creates a transparent system where students are informed not only that they were heard, but also the concrete actions taken on their behalf. So this causes the feedback gap or loop and ensures the communication remains a two-way process between the SEC and the students. My last is that we will sustain. So I understand that the biggest challenge we have is that every administration starts from the beginning. So through this, we will institutionalize a project documentation, committee manuals, turnover systems, so that this will be passed on through the student leaders generation. So these systems are designed to strengthen the SSC from within, empower the student leaders, and prioritize the welfare of our students. So as your aspiring SSC IVP, ako ay patuloy na makikinig, ako ay magiging mapagkumbaba at patuloy na matututo at higit sa lahat, ako ay mananagot at magiging tapat sa bawat estudyante na aking paglilingkuran. So once again, I am Althea Chudoro, your aspiring SSC Internal Vice President, and I hope to earn your trust and your support. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you for that, Ms. Theodora. Finally, we hear from the candidate aspiring for the highest office in the Supreme Student Council, the President, Ms. Siti Aisa A. Dinas. Okay, so that concludes the platform presentation of our candidates for the 2026 Supreme Student Council elections. We've heard the visions, priorities, and commitments to student leadership. But leadership is not measured by prepared speeches alone. It is also demonstrated by the ability to think critically, respond under pressure, and articulate informed positions on issues that shape not only our campus, but also our local communities, our nation, and the global landscape. This is the question and answer session. Each candidate will be challenged with questions covering a wide range of topics, from student welfare and university governance to current local, national, and international affairs. Before we begin, let us first go over the mechanics for this portion. Each candidate will be given 30 seconds of thinking time before delivering their response. They will then have 3 minutes to answer. We encourage all candidates to make the most of their allotted time while remaining concise and responsive to the question. To ensure fairness and impartiality, all questions were prepared and screened. Candidates were not informed of the questions in advance. The use of mobile phones, electronic devices, notes, scripts, or any form of assistance during the Q&A session is strictly prohibited throughout this segment. Now we are ready to begin the question and answer session. But before that, may I ask the candidates, are you ready for the question and answer? Thumbs up if ready na kayo, or heart reaction. Okay, I guess most of our candidates are now ready. So let us welcome our first candidate for Senator, Mr. Matthew Joshua E. Metz. Andyan pa ba si Mr. Metz?
Yes po, nandito pa po.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you? How are you feeling today?
To be honest, quite nervous since ako yung una na mag-question. So, Well, at the end of the day, ang pinaka-important is I shown up and that's it.
Yes, that's the most important thing of being a leader. Dapat talaga nag-show up ka always. So I guess you were ready now for your question. So let's start. As an incumbent senator, you've had the opportunity to represent the student body over the past term. Again, as an incumbent senator, you've had the opportunity to represent the student body over the past term. If students were unconvinced by your performance, what would you say is the strongest reason they should still re-elect you? Again, if students were unconvinced by your performance, what would you say is the strongest reason they should still re-elect you? Let me remind you again, you have 30 seconds to think about your response, and then you will be given another 3 minutes to answer the question. Your timer starts now. Okay, so timer's up. So, Mr. Metz, we are now ready to hear your answer.
Okay. If some students were unconvinced by my performance, we all know naman, no? I completely respect that. Every student has the right to evaluate leaders they elect. During my previous term, I experienced both success and shortcomings, particularly in communication and student engagement due to the shift of online modality. And I don't deny those. I will take full responsibilities for them. The stronger reason to re-elect me is not because I claim to have been a perfect senator, but because I've grown from those experiences. I have now have clear understanding of what students expect from their leaders to be visible, transparent, and responsive. That's exactly why my advocacy is stronger representation through action. I want to strengthen my communication with the students, support our organizations and clubs effectively, and promote greater transparent and academic policies and the student rights. At the end of the day, leadership isn't about never making mistakes. It's about learning from them, improving, and continuing to serve integrity. If given another opportunity, I won't just bring experience. I will bring the lessons that will help me to serve every Mapuan better. Because I do believe that I can do better and we can all do better. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Metz. Just a follow-up question. You mentioned in your statement of support posted in the Commission of Election page, you said there that you want to be someone students can approach and rely on. So a follow-up question, if students only approach the council when they have complaints, how can you officers really understand the silent majority? Kasi there are a lot of students who are not very vocal about their concerns. But ang main question ko is, how will you be able to understand them? How will you invite them or convince them that you are trusted enough, or you are reliable enough to be approached for their complaints?
Well, to answer that question, no, I think as the role of a senator, it is our role, no, not to convince every student that the first thing you need to approach to the higher ups is always the senators po talaga muna. Kasi I believe that in able to catch someone's trust again is dili naman po siya like simply just a snap or simply yang agad-agad na ma-trust. And I do respect that every trust needs to be earned, needs to be equally earned talaga. Like kailangan todo, no, knowing na in this generation. With this naman po, I think I also, based on my experiences po before, way back, siguro like mga first year and during entering this college, I also see na may mga inequality talaga when it comes to student rights, no? And with this is why ito talaga yung ginapaglaban ko with my advocacy because I do believe that every student has an equal right to express their voice, and that's why I'm representing them po. And with this, that's why nag-decide ako na to continue na to be a senator again kasi nga based on my previous term, as a student naman po ito na experience, may experience po ko mga unequal and unfairness treatment with the policies naman po. So, hindi naman po talaga siya totally ganun kalala, but I do believe we can do better po as a serve to the community po.
Another follow-up question. Regarding that inequalities na sinasabi mo earlier, were you able to do something? Were you able to act on it? And what are those steps or mechanisms?
Okay, so for the equality naman po, yes po, I can say na may nagawa naman po ako previous term. Well, ano naman po talaga siya, like departmental concern naman siya, like program concern naman po talaga ito siya. So by this naman po, many po kasi, ang napansin ko lang po kasi, many students, hindi nila alam how to raise concerns. Yan talaga yung pinaka-main problem. They simply just bypass their concerns to the higher ups. Kaya medyo nagkakagulo yung higher ups kasi saan to nanggaling? So that's why during those times when the equality was like gina-process ko yung complaint, I simply gather their all experiences po, no? And then as a senator na rin and as a student na rin, I reported it to our BODs naman po sa CHS. And then luckily na-resolve naman po siya by the help of our BODs. Yun po ang nagawa po.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Mr. Metz. Now let's proceed to your next question. Let me reiterate. I will only read the context once and the question twice. Again, the context once and the question twice. Okay, so young Filipinos make up a significant portion of the electorate, yet youth voter turnout and civic engagement remain inconsistent outside election periods. In your view, what responsibility do student leaders have in encouraging political participation without crossing into partisan advocacy? Again, in your view, what responsibility do student leaders have in encouraging political participation without crossing into partisan advocacy? Again, you have 30 seconds to think about your response and another 3 minutes for your response. And timer's up. Now we're ready to hear your answer, Mr. Metz.
I believe student leaders have the responsibilities to encourage students to become informed and engaged citizens, not to tell who and what to support. Our role is to create space where students can ask questions, discuss important issues like the current social issues respectfully, and access reliable information. Political participation is more than voting during elections. It also means being aware of the current issues affecting our communities, our country as well. Understanding our rights and responsibilities and contributing to positive change. At the same time, student leaders must remain non-partisan. We should never use our positions to influence students toward a particular political party or candidate. Instead, we should empower them to think critically, make informed decisions based on facts and their own values, and do not spread false information. Yun po talaga ang pinaka-most important. And as a student leader, I believe the best way to strengthen democracy country is not by telling students what to think, but helping them to become responsible, informed, and engaged citizens. And also, I encourage everyone, especially everyone, all the Mapúa community, to be always po talaga na manood kayo ng news, especially the Senate hearing. That's what we all. Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Metz. Yeah, I agree. I think we really need to be, to make informed choices. Kaya nga andito tayo ngayon. We are in our meeting the Avance 2026 para informed yung choices natin pagdating sa election. And not just in school elections, but also in national elections. Thank you again so much for that, Mr. Metz. And now let us proceed to our next candidate for Senator, Miss Angel Grace V. Tamisan.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you feeling today?
I'm really nervous.
Actually, ako rin. I'm very nervous. Saka kanina pagsagot, parang nape-pressure ako kasi ang galing sumagot ni Mr. Metz. But now, it's your turn to answer our questions. So are you ready with some questions? Just breathe in and breathe out. It's just gonna be like mga mild questions lang. So now, okay, let's start. So you are a newcomer in the senatorial in the Senate senators or a senator or a candidate in the SSC. So here's your question. Unlike your fellow candidates, you do not have the advantage of serving as an incumbent senator. Now, why should students entrust you with a legislative role over candidates who already have experience in the office? Again, why should students entrust you with a legislative role over candidates who already have experience in the office? You have 30 seconds to think about your answer and 3 minutes for your response. Your timer starts now. And time's up. So it's your time to shine, Angel.
Good afternoon. I'm Angel Grace Vitumisan. And yes, it's true that I don't have the advantage of being an incumbent incumbent senator, and I respect the experience of my fellow candidates with their experiences. And as a first-time candidate, I bring a fresh perspective. Uh, I, res- I represent students who want new ideas, open communication, and a senator who listens before making decisions. I am not limited by the way things have been done. I am willing to learn, collaborate, and experience with experienced officers and continuously improve so I can represent every student's voice effectively. And yes, I do believe that experience is valuable, but every experienced leader was once given a first opportunity. And if you entrust me with yours, I will earn the trust through hard work, accountability, and genuine service. And I may be new to the position, but my dedication to serving the student body is not. And I cannot promise perfection, but I can promise preparation. I will study the responsibilities of a senator. I will seek guidance from my fellow senators who have experiences, and I will make decisions based on what benefits the students, not only my personal interests. And I would rather be a leader who continuously learn rather than who assumes that they already know everything. And I want to be voted for, I don't want to be voted because I know everything. I want to be voted because I am willing to learn and adapt. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Angel. So, just a follow-up question. I'm curious, I would like to ask, and I know that a lot of students are curious as well. What were your experiences or your yeah, mga experiences, mga nagawa mo na that you think is helpful when you in case you win and you enter the SSC. Ano ba yung mga helpful na nagawa mo na mga experiences mo na in the past?
Thank you for that question. As someone who is this is the first time I come over in a senatorial position in a school, and I have never been a senator before, and I've never been in a position similar to this before, because most of my credentials are actually in the finance department. But I want to the things that I have experiences, because I am a member of the Mapúa Malayan Reserve Corps, and I think good it is a good experience that I can help give to the position, because we are very open to communications from the students, and we like to hear the concerns of the students, and and I would like to represent the student body. Thank you.
That is great. Thank you so much, Miss Angel. Now I want to move on to the next question. Are you okay? Are you feeling okay? Okay, so it's fine. So your next question is this. According to the Davao City Teen Crisis Center, 299 bullying cases were recorded in May 2026 alone, involving 98 male and 201 female victims, with children aged 14 and below accounting for the highest number of reported cases. The figures have prompted city officials to push for the full implementation of Davao City's anti-bullying ordinance. Now, your question is, as a prospective senator, what policies should student governments champion to ensure that anti-bullying initiatives produce lasting behavioral change rather than simply increasing awareness? Once again, as a prospective senator, what policies should student governments champion to ensure that anti-bullying initiatives produce lasting behavioral change rather than simply increasing awareness? So you have 30 seconds again, and then 3 minutes for the response. Your timer starts now. Time's up now. We are ready to hear your answer.
Thank you for that question. Yes, awareness is only the first step. But to create lasting change, we need action. And as a senator, I will push for a safe and anonymous reporting system. It will be peer-led anti-bullying programs and counseling for both victims and those who bully. I also believe that we should encourage students to speak up and support one another. So together we can build a campus that where respect is practiced every day, not just discussed during campaigns.
Thank you so much, Miss Angel. You did well. And now let's proceed to our third candidate for senator, Ms. Trisha May G. Santa Maria.
Hello.
Hello, Ms. Trisha. How are you feeling today?
Same as everyone. I'm very nervous too.
Okay, so we're feeling the same. Lahat tayo kinakabahan actually. So now, let's proceed to your question. You've spoken about your plans for the next term. Now, my question is about in the past, the last one. If students were disappointed with the Senate's performance this year, why should they believe that re-electing the same people will produce a different result? Again, if students were disappointed with the Senate's performance this year, why do you think should they believe that re-electing the same people will produce a different result? Now you have 30 seconds to formulate your answer and 3 minutes to share it. Your timer starts now. And the timer's up. Now we're ready to hear your answer, Miss Santa Maria.
Okay, so as we all know, the recent events of the student council, we received a lot of backlash from what happened last year of the earthquake and stuff. So um, it was quite rash din for me na biglang nag-switch to online modality, and it was kind of overwhelming. So with that experience, it made me realize a lot of things that I haven't done. I wasn't able to do my best kasi it was harder for me to do it like online, ganon, and it's hard to be more transparent when it's online kasi people would actually believe on what they see and what they will hear then or what they believe in. So in terms of that, I want them to believe na they can re-elect me again as a senator kasi I believe na I can do better from my performance last year because I have learned from last year's experience. From those experiences, I can develop more platforms or develop more ideas that I can do to help the student body more and to help them gain more trust sa akin, not just because I'm confident enough to step up as a senator once again, but because I'm willing to adapt, I'm willing to learn more, and I'm willing to hear out whatever they will say against me. And I will hear them, and I will respond in a way that I can give them the answer they need. That would be all.
Thank you so much for that. Just a follow-up question. In the 2025 elections, two of your platforms mentions improved transparency and communication between the SSC and the student body. And another platform is promoting promoting a neurodiverse and inclusionary campus culture. Now, I would like you to assess your performance last year. Were you able to achieve this these two platforms, the improved transparency and communication and the neurodiverse or inclusionary campus culture? Were you able to achieve those platforms? Why or why not?
To be fair, I wasn't able. I was able to make the platform, but I was not able to actually uh, 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 take action into it because it's an online modality. So it's hard to take action on the. It's not because it's hard, but because I want to establish a space for the neurodivergent people to make them feel more relaxed when they feel overwhelmed in terms when they feel overwhelmed in classes. I was not able to make it kasi uh, I was not sorry. Kasi it's an online setup once again. I did not, sorry, nawala sa train of thought ko. I wasn't able to give kasi I don't know what to do nun. That there was a lot happening in the student body. There was a lot happening in the student council. Then like a lot of backlogs din sa class. So medyo na behind ako on that. So I was not really able to deliver it. And as for the transparency sa student council, we were able to actually communicate about it sa student council and communicate it sa student body talaga. We actually had a lot of meetings, discussions, ganun na we were speaking about what we can do na para just to try and make them believe that we are doing something, and we actually tried to post something. We tried to communicate with them. We tried to deliver forums. We gave forms for them to answer na what can we do and what else can we do and what can we do to help them. So for that, I was able to help them how to give transparency to students.
Okay, thank you for that. Since we're talking about the safe space earlier, related to your platform, your next question is, ahead of the 70th Commission on the Status of Women, the United Nations highlighted that violence and harassment against women and girls remain widespread worldwide, with many survivors still facing barriers to reporting and accessing justice. Now, your question. As a prospective senator, what policies should student governments prioritize to ensure that victims of sexual harassment feel safe to report incidents and receive meaningful institutional support? Once again, as a prospective senator, what policies should the student governments or you prioritize to ensure that victims of sexual harassment feel safe to report incidents and receive meaningful institutional support? So your timer for 30 seconds starts now. Okay, Ms. Santa Maria, now we would like to hear your thoughts.
We all know naman na it's not that easy to actually communicate in terms of sexual harassment, especially when you're a victim. It's hard to actually tell them the truth on what happened or if they will believe you. I've met a lot of people kasi na who has gone through the same thing. I myself is also a victim, so it's hard for me to communicate what happened. And in order for that to happen, we need a support system that will communicate with them, or we need to truly protect these victims of sexual harassment. We must establish a concrete protective systems rather than just raising awareness. Because we've already been raising awareness so much, pero it's still not getting through to a lot of people. So for that to be ensured, we should have an immediate safety by lobbying administration for temporary zero contact directives and flexible academic adjustments for them to feel safe, such as shifting class sections. So para yung victim na yun, hindi sila maka-feel ng threat towards that person who may or may have done sexual harassment towards them. So furthermore, we can try to designate trained or confidential na mga student o mga student advisors or any student at all who can try to communicate na actually mga student survivors of sexual harassment, we can try to have them communicate with those people and how they can uh, uh, release their feelings. So other than that, implement we should also implement encrypted anonymous na counselors, anonymous channel to the roots directly sa mga counselors na school kasi we have school counselors naman diba to help on this. And then we should also try to minimize the gossips kasi maybe it will affect the victims more. Maybe it will not help. So summarizing this, no students should actually feel like they're alone kasi it's hard to carry this burden alone. So I will try my best to actually gather students who can understand these kinds of things. Yun lang po.
Thank you, thank you so much for your time, Miss Santa Maria. And that's it for our third senatorial candidate. Now let's proceed to our fourth and final candidate for senator, Mr. Justin Dane T. Gerhen.
Hello, hello,
Hello, good
hello.
afternoon.
Hello po, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, Mr. Justin. How are you feeling?
Actually, I want to change my answer. I want to say excited. Like I haven't had a meeting the Avance in a while, so like it's something to look forward to. So can't wait.
So you're really prepared for this. So now let's proceed to your question. Now here's your first question. By seeking another term, you're asking students to pass on you leadership. Why is keeping you in office a better investment than giving someone else the opportunity to serve? Once again, why is keeping you in office a better investment than giving someone else the opportunity to serve? Your timer starts now.
Okay po, I'm ready to answer.
Okay, so Mr. Gerhen is ready. So your 3 minutes starts now.
All right. So to answer this question, I seek another term not because I think I can do better or I think that there are things that I lacked last year. I seek a better term because I know I'm confident I can serve better. Now that seems very counterintuitive. Let me explain. I seek another term because I'm now more experienced. I know the secrets and how to handle the different aspects of being a senator in the SSC. I know how to handle the problems and I know how to face them better. As a first year senator last year, I'll be honest, it was quite overwhelming. I am not There's a lot of moments where I was like, wow, this is how this went. I didn't know that last year. But now coming back into it, I feel like that I have gone through it and now I know and fully confident in myself that with these experiences, I can push through this school year with different platforms, different ways to serve, and attacking problems from different angles compared to how I saw them last year.
Okay, just a follow-up question. So, Mr. Gerhen, we all know how that the SSC last year was, the previous administration was criticized. So, here's your question: how should a leader respond when someone criticizes them unfairly?
Well, I believe that criticism is a blessing in a way that people actually care about what you do. Your actions matter to them, to the people, in our case, the students. And as a member of the SSC last year, which was again criticized, I took that as a lot of, like, I think a blessing in my eyes that, oh, they see what we do. They think that we should do it this way. And I wasn't verbally replying to each and every one because that's actually impossible. But internally, and we brought it up internally within ourselves to say like, oh, they see us this way, and we want that we can serve them. That's one of the ways that we can pick up on their issues, their struggles, and what they want from the student council. So that was something that I think is really important. Criticism is really important for any position because that shows that people care about what you do, and what you do is important. So it gives you more importance and allows you to work harder and allows you to serve better.
Thank you so much for that response, Mr. Gerhen. And now let's proceed to your next question. Ahead of the 2026 Duao Davao Pride Parade, the Davao City Tourism Operations Office, or CTOO, reminded participants to keep the event apolitical and focus on LGBTQIA+ rights rather than political messaging. The guidance reignited discussions on where organizers should draw the line between maintaining order and protecting freedom of expression. Now, your question is, as a prospective senator, where do you draw the line between an organization's authority to regulate an event and an individual's right to express advocacy? Again, as a prospective senator, where do you draw the line between an organization's authority to regulate an event and an individual's right to express advocacy? Your 30 seconds starts now.
I'm ready to answer.
Okay, so since you're ready, now your 3 minutes starts.
So, as a student myself and as a member of the society, I believe that freedom is for everyone. Everyone has the right to believe what they want. They have their own opinions, and I respect that. We draw the line between expressing yourself and your rights when you start stepping over the boundary of hurting other people. What do you mean by this? So, in this scenario, we gladly allow the LGBTQIA+ to express themselves because that's a right of every Filipino. But they struggle with where they draw the line. I think personally, you're allowed to have your opinion, but you don't have to force that upon onto others. That's where I draw the line. I'm all for the LGBTQIA to express their rights, and every Filipino, I believe, should express their rights of freedom of speech and being allowed to share your political or apolitical stance. But I don't agree when people try to convince or forcefully convince other people to join their party or believe that because I'm here, this is what's right. I believe that everyone has their own opinions because everyone's unique in their own way. Everyone's created uniquely and thinks uniquely. And this is very vital for this line because I don't want that people will overstep and start forcing themselves upon onto others, which creates a kind of environment where students, or let's use Mapua for example, if this happens in Mapua, this creates an environment where the student body chooses to stay silent instead of express themselves, and that's not what I want. Especially as one of the heads or as the SSC. So as an aspiring senator, I want that when or if elected, I want to be able to allow each and every student to express themselves. And I think that's very culture. That's a very important culture we have here in Mapua, and I want to keep it that way. Expressing themselves in a way that's not offensive or forcefully pushing themselves onto others, allowing everyone, especially in our schools, to exercise their rights and freedom of speech or expressiveness. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Gerhen. And now we move to the position of Public Information Officer, Ms. Anika Francine. And I think she's not still here. So with the first half of our question and answer segment now complete, we take a short pause for a brief fast talk round, where candidates will respond to a series of pressing issues in a rapid response format. In this segment, candidates will be presented with a series of timely and thought-provoking issues. Rather than giving lengthy explanations, they are asked to respond by indicating one of four positions, namely, agree with reservations, disagree, and disagree with reservations. So do you have your cards to the candidates? Do you have your cards right there with you? Okay. So are you ready? Are you ready for the fast talk round? Just raise what your response to the issues that I'm going to ano tawag nito? To mention. So each statement will be read twice. Candidates are expected to respond promptly by displaying their chosen answer in front of their cameras. No explanations or justifications will be given during this round, allowing us to capture each candidate's immediate stance on a range of contemporary issues. With that, let us begin the fast talk round. So the first, lowering of the age of criminal liability. Again, lowering of the age of criminal liability. Agree with reservations, disagree, or disagree with reservations. I saw disagree, I saw agree, okay. Next, you may now lower you lower your cards, and now next, for absolute divorce. Absolute divorce. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Cedric, I think hindi masyado makita yung can you ilapit pa yung card? Okay, I think I saw it now already. Okay, thank you so much. And next, mandatory ROTC. Again, mandatory ROTC. Disagree with reservations. Thank you so much. Now next, the constitutional ban on political dynasties. Constitutional ban on political dynasties. I saw agree. Okay, thank you so much. Now next, internet voting for national and local elections. Again, internet voting for national and local elections. Disagree with reservation, disagree. Okay. Next, Philippines rejoining the International Criminal Court. Again, Philippines rejoining the International Criminal Court. Agree, okay. Thank you so much. And then next, the comprehensive sex education. Comprehensive sex education. Agree with reservations. Okay, thank you. And next, government regulation of artificial intelligence. Government regulation of artificial intelligence. Agree with reservations and disagree. Okay, thank you. Next, mandatory active shooter drills in school. Again, mandatory active shooter or shooting drills in schools following the Tacloban shooting incident? Disagree, agree with reservations? Okay, okay, thank you. 4-day, next is 4-day work week. 4-day work week. This was I think it was a presidential decree or resolution, making Monday to Thursday, the work week, and then on Friday, ano lang siya, is work from home or remote working. Disagree, agree with reservations. Okay, thank you. Now, AI replacing administrative work. Again, AI or artificial intelligence replacing administrative work. Disagree, disagree. Okay. Thank you. Okay, okay. And then next, final, last one is Davao City High Priority Bus System or HPBS. Again, Davao City High Priority Bus System. Agree with reservations. Agree with reservations. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you to our candidates for participating in the Fast Talk round. We now resume the question and answer portion. We now invite the candidate for auditor, Mr. Gavin P. Hilo. Is Mr. Gavin around na? I think wala pa rin. Now, let's move on to our next candidate for treasurer, Mr. Zeldrick M. Villarino.
Hi.
Hello, Zeldrick. How are you feeling?
Excited, but also nervous. Let's
Okay,
get this
so
over with.
yeah. So here's your question. Incumbency gives you the advantage of experience, but it also comes with accountability. So your question is, why should students re-elect you instead of giving someone else the opportunity to manage the SSC's finances? Once again, why should students re-elect you instead of giving someone else the opportunity to manage the SSC's finances? Your 30 seconds starts now.
Okay, for sure, I completely understand the skepticism because accountability and transparency is a word almost thrown around every election. But I think the difference between like a newcomer and me is the experience and the execution. So as your incumbent treasurer, I didn't just keep the money safe. I learned where the system, or I learned how the system works. This year, I'm not just promising transparency and accountability. I am also delivering accessibility. With the hopes of this, I will launch a project called Tapat, a live visual, like what I said kanina, a live visual digital dashboard where I hope that every treasurer and auditors in every organization, student organization here in our school, will provide a parang transparent and live report of where the students' money goes. So you won't have the students, you guys won't have to wait for a year-end reports. You will see where your money goes in real time every after event or every before event. I have the experience to run it, and hopefully, in this incoming face-to-face setup, we will. The students would also have the right to see it and the opportunity to experience it. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. So, a follow-up question. You mentioned in your statement of purpose, I really want to redeem my title. What do you mean by that?
Come again?
You mentioned in your statement of purpose, I really want to redeem my title, because a lot of students might misinterpret it. So I want you to give the floor. I want to give the floor to you to explain what do you mean by redeeming your title.
I believe that these are that statement is a result of structural lesson that I learned over the past years of me serving, not just in the SSC but also in the other positions that I've held. As the incumbent treasurer during the hybrid online setup, my absolute priority was stabilization, auditing, ensuring zero deficits, and keeping the ship afloat. So now that we are back, hopefully face to face, the baseline is set. I am running again because stabilization isn't enough anymore. We need progress. My new platforms that I've mentioned kanina, I read already because I have spent the past year mapping out uh, the flow and the system of this that holds us back. I am not starting from scratch. I am hitting the ground running and ready.
Okay, thank you so much for that response. Now let's move on to your second question. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signed the 6.793 trillion pesos 2026 national budget earlier this January, but vetoed 92.5 billion pesos in unprogrammed appropriations, saying that public funds should release only when backed by clear safeguards and fiscal discipline. Now, your question, if you were SSC treasurer and the majority of officers supported financing a project that you once or you believed was not financially justified, would you approve it in the interest of unity or oppose it in the interest of fiscal responsibility? Why? Again, if you were SSC treasurer and the majority of officers supported financing a project that you believed was not financially justified, would you approve it in the interest of unity or oppose it in the interest of fiscal responsibility? Your timer for 30 seconds starts now.
So before I answer, I would like to comment on this. No, the reality of national politics in our country has made us structurally suspicious of anyone handling public money, and that's my job. I am handling a public money, which is the money of our students, and honestly, that's good because we should be critical. This is in relation context, no, in relation siguro of ghost funds and let's say corruption na lang din. When ghost fund and corruption happen when two things exist, absolute control and complete secrecy. So as your treasurer, my response to this isn't just a promise of a good character. With that, it is a system of mandatory institutional checks. By launching the Project Tapat, I am also launching a live financial dashboard. Because of that, we eliminate secrecy. Every single centavo collected from student fees will be tied directly to official receipts and public project approvals. Furthermore, by formalizing this, the Student Org Budget Navigator, we make sure the process for fund distribution is standardized, meaning before approving, there is like a lot of process that it should go through, leaving absolutely no room for backdoor allocations or, God forbid, ghost projects here in Mapua. So we fight systemic corruption with systemic openness. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Villarino, and thank you so much for your time. Now, makakahinga
Is
ka
that
na kasi
all?
tapos na yung term mo. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Now,
Okay.
let us move on, or let us call on the next candidate for the Assistant Secretary General, Ms. Juliana Lois I. Honor.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you? How are you feeling?
Same as everyone. I'm nervous.
Okay, so now let's proceed to your question agad kasi we will just have a bit of overtime, guys, kasi may two positions pa tayo. Please bear with us and thank you so much for your patience. Now, so here's your question, Ms. Honor. Student participation remains a challenge in many SSC activities. And we all know that kahit hindi sa SSC, mahirap talaga mag-gather ng students kasi parang nagiging passive sila these days, especially online lang. Now, while organizing events is not the primary responsibility of the Assistant Secretary General, your office plays a key role in planning and coordination. Now, your question is, how can your office contribute to increasing student participation through better administrative systems and organizational support. Again, how can your office contribute to increasing student participation through better administrative systems and organizational support? Your timer starts now.
Okay, so planning a event is actually a very difficult task. Now, what can an assistant secretary general do is that make sure an event is a event that a student would want, a student could gain from it. And by this, I know that Mapua has or the SSC or any organizations has difficulty on having the student body to participate in every event. But I still do believe that by just posting, by giving what they really want, they would really attend to it. Because sa totoo lang, di rin natin gusto ang ibang mga proyekto ng mga ibang organizations, but we join because of, again, there are things like we called plus points and so on. Now we would like to to remove that type of system, and by that I would really want a event where everyone is really present and where everyone really wants. Kasi why kasi we need the student body to be active, to be an active student. Hindi lang sila nasa Mapua para mag-aral, kundi they should also experience the student. I mean, they are in Mapua because to learn, but they should also experience the college life or the high school life or the school life of every students could have. And for a better system is that I do believe that kahit di nila yan kahit they ignore that in social media postings, but if word of mouth goes out of how this will work, is this event even worth it, then I do believe student would really want it.
Okay, so thank you so much. I would like to point out, you said earlier about the plus points, and I think you mentioned about removing it, or did I hear it wrong?
By removing it is not hindi yan tanggalin talaga. Like, I just want everyone to join without having thinking of the incentives. I mean, everyone is joining because of incentives, pero di nila na-enjoy yung event mismo. And I want them to really have their student life here in Mapua kahit sa mga nangyayaring issues and lahat na talaga. That's why it's like they're just there for the points, for the incentives, but they are not enjoying it. They're not enjoying the event itself. They're not enjoying their life as a student. And that's why I would love it. I don't know, I would wish for it to be like removed in a way, in a way of to be removed in a how the student think of it. I mean, I would love a plus points too, but I go because of the event. I go because it is fun. I want to go because I want it. Parang ganun yung gusto kong ipahayag.
Yes, yes. Thank you for that, Miss Honor. And I think, yeah, importante talaga na yung main focus talaga natin, or like yung main goal natin is magkapunta talaga and enjoy yung event, not just because of the plus points. But now let's proceed to your next question. Earlier this year, controversies involving student publications and campus organizations reignited concerns that protecting an institution's image can sometimes take precedence over freedom of expression. Now, as an aspiring Assistant Secretary General, if the Supreme Student Council were criticized by a student publication, would your priority be to protect the council's reputation, or to ensure that criticism is heard and addressed through open dialogue? Again, as an aspiring Assistant Secretary General, if the Supreme Student Council were criticized by a student publication, would your priority be to protect the council's reputation, or to ensure that criticisms or criticism is heard and addressed through open dialogue. Your timer starts now.
Okay, so I get criticism is actually a good thing because it means that we are being they see us, they know what we're doing. As quote unquote by the past officer, it is a blessing. And I would, if the council is being criticized by a student publication, then I think there is a reason behind it, and I would like that to be addressed through an open dialogue, of course, because I want it I want to know the real I want to know what they are where they're coming from also, because my job is not to protect the council but to address the student body. Hindi ako para sa council, para ako sa mga estudyante. I serve for the students and not for the council. That's why if the council is being criticized, then I know that something is being done wrong, and I want to know that, I want to learn that, because I want to fix it agad. Because I don't want it to be a lesson for us to have it like, okay, this happened and this is your lesson learned na, wag na nating ulitin. I want it to be like, gusto ko maayos to. I want it na if you criticize, I want it like, if you criticize me, then okay, what's happened? Let's fix this. Hindi yung parang, sige, I will do better. I mean, wala na akong magagawa. I will actually do better. It's it's a given na talaga. Pero there's really a reason about being criticized. That's why addressing it through an open dialogue is the best option. But also, by addressing it, we should also have a barrier of respect also, as respeto lang naman yun tayo dito. We do you can criticize us, but please also do respect what how did we come up into this, or how we get into this type of things that we're going through. Kaya again, I am for the students, not for the council. And if you are criticizing the council, I would criticize with joking. I would not criticize with you, but I would take it responsibly. I would take it positively. I would love you. Please do criticize us more so we could know what we could improve at. Saan kami pwede makabawi, or pwede namin galingan yung sa sarili namin. And I think that's all.
Wait lang. Okay, so thank you so much for that, Miss Honor, and your time has now ended. So thank you so much. You really did great. Thank you so much. Now let's proceed to the next candidate and the final candidate for this afternoon, the Vice President for Internal Affairs, Miss Althea Ann H. Teodoro.
Hello, hi.
Hello. How are you feeling, Miss Thea?
I'm good, but a little bit nervous because I think this will be a parang madugong Q&A.
Okay. So, actually, kinakabahan din ako while talking sa inyo. Now, you are currently, okay, proceed na tayo sa question. Okay, are you ready? Okay.
Yes.
You are currently serving as the SSC president, but are now seeking the position of Vice President for Internal Affairs. Following the October 2025 earthquake, many students criticized your administration for not communicating promptly regarding the school's restoration timeline. Now, your question is, as the president at that time, why should students trust you to continue serving in the SSC despite those criticisms? Once again, as the president at the time, why should students trust you to continue serving in the SSC despite those criticisms? Your timer starts now.
Okay, so I fully understand that not every student may have really felt the impact of our term, especially communicating with them, like most importantly about the school's restoration timeline or the updates on our school buildings. And I really respect those criticisms. However, I want to also address that we cannot really give an update without verifying it first because it follows a process kasi. So we were just also following a process. However, it's just that we failed to parang uh parang like always updating, especially the student leaders kasi sila din yung binabalikan ng students. So right now, as the outgoing president, so I learned na parang leadership is not just only about like delivering yung mga programs or like parang one-time update lang and then that's it. We have to, or I have to make sure na our work is more visible, more transparent, and more connected to the students. So, just for reference lang, we actually started it, although it's a little bit too late, but we started it, and I want to continue that program or that advocacy na mapatuloy pa siya for the next term. So those lessons are exactly why I'm running for the IVP position because I want to strengthen the internal systems more to enable a better service and to of course to give what the students really deserve. So this is not just about na okay vote for me because I'm the president. I know the lessons na so I can apply it next year. So just trust me na lang. It's not just about that. I'm just asking for an opportunity to apply what I've learned to continue improving and to really establish the sustainability of the SSC to serve with greater accountability and to really give the rights and what the students really deserve.
Okay, so thank you for that, Miss Eudora. So just a follow-up question, kasi some students argue that the SSC failed to meet their expectations over the past year. It's ang daming criticisms last year, and now I've seen familiar faces. It's the same old faces. It's the same old names. So my question is, I wanted to know your thoughts as someone who was part of its leadership. Siyempre kayong lahat, most of you are re-electionists. Most of you are the same faces last year pa rin. Why would students believe that promoting someone from the same team last year na criticize na sinasabi nila failed to meet their expectation will lead to different results? Do you think or what should we expect this year? Do we expect change or do we expect the same mistakes last term? I mean, for sure you would do something to change something in the past, but we wanted to know why would the students, or how would you convince the students that we should or they should vote for you again? Kasi same faces lang eh. So why?
Okay, so I understand na yun nga again, even I myself as a president, I could really say na like hindi ko na meet yung own expectation ko for my term. Because again, with what happened, like the earthquake, the shift to the hybrid setup, it was really difficult for us then. But of course, as a student leader, you really have to be adaptable to the changes. So it's just that we just really lacked on the parang a more organized or systematic na way on how to address such concerns because yun nga, all of our plans were like on the table. So for okay, so going back, so our plans were on the table. We are really prepared for our term. However, with the shift to the current setup today, so we have to adjust, we have to adapt, we have to parang change what we really want for our term. So although yeah, I understand na parang yung students the same faces, so baka the same term lang pa rin. But as what the other officers stated earlier, now we are parang experienced na on handling this. So syempre, since this academic year, mas na-emphasize na madami talagang recurring concerns ang students. Madami talagang mga problems na hindi na-raise before even sa mga previous na terms. So with this lessons and these parang mga concerns and yung mga programs na start namin, we want these officers, the same faces na you guys have seen na for this term and na mga nag-run ulit for this term, we want to make sure na ma-continue yung mga programs na na-start namin. We want to establish first sustainability within the council in order for us to move on or in order for us to parang change na naman ulit or mag-replace ng mga student leaders. But we guys want you to know then na while kami yung nakikita nyo na mga officers, we are also parang training other or aspiring student leaders para sila na naman yung next na mag-serve sa inyo. So yes.
Thank you so much for that response, Ms. Teodoro. And now let's proceed to your next question. Now, earlier this year, this is a very important environmental concern. Earlier this year, Davao City experienced a garbage crisis following the closure of the New Carmen sanitary landfill after a deadly trash slide, resulting in delays in waste collection across the city. Now, your question is, as Vice President for Internal Affairs, how would you mobilize the MMCM community to promote sustainable waste management beyond simply organizing cleanup drives? Once again, as Vice President for Internal Affairs, how would you mobilize the MMCM community to promote sustainable waste management beyond simply organizing cleanup drives? Your timer starts now.
Okay, so as your aspiring IVP, so of course, given na parang, I mean, as one of the requirements, diba, of like student organizations is to really have a CSCE na activity. So parang yung pinakamadali is like mga cleanup drives, tree planting activity, but we have to understand din kasi as student leaders or as students na doing an activity doesn't end after matapos, after you mag-plant ng tree, after you mag-clean up sa coastal or sa isang community, then that's it. We have to understand din na there should be a follow-up or like parang check-up or like a monthly check-up within the community or and this is why it is important to really partner with like an organization na parang ito yung like forte nila na they also have a partner community na parang they have this relationship na talaga na like natutulungan talaga nilang yung community or for example this project itong mga clean up drives or itong mga when it comes to like the sanitary landfill na problem. So with this I want to promote or a project na mas strengthen pa yung parang partnership natin with an external organization to parang lead a semester long or if possible and kung kakayanin ng ating manpower parang a academic year long talaga na not just awareness campaigns, not just promoting waste segregation during like mga campus events, yung mga Claygo, but we also have to integrate sustainability into these kinds of activities. So parang we have to parang make sure na there should really be parang like a strong inter-organization sustainability na maging activity for this para hindi lang siya a one time or parang dole out na event lang. So we have to parang make sure, I mean as the aspiring IVP then that's why I'm really pushing for a stronger internal system, not just sa SSC but also sa our student organizations kasi I want to make sure na yung mga ginagawa nilang activities like for example these cleanup drives or mga tree planting activities, especially mga environmental na mga activities, I want them to understand that this is not just a one-time event. This should be a long-term, a sustainable na activity na can really contribute parang a bigger outcome, not just sa ating organizations, but also for the community na ginawa natin itong mga activities. So yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that response, Ms. Teodoro. And that ends your time for the question and answer portion. Thank you again. We would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our candidates for showing up. Kahit mahirap, kahit online lang tayo. And the important thing is all leaders should always show up. So to the candidate for senators, Ms. Angel Grace V. Tamisan, Ms. Trisha May G. Santa Maria, Mr. Justin Dane T. Girhen, and then Mr. Matthew Joshua Metz. For the treasurer, Mr. Zeldrick M. Villarino. For the Assistant Secretary General, Ms. Juliana Lois Honor. And then for the Vice for Internal Affairs, Ms. Althea Ann H. Teodoro. That concludes the question and answer portion, the second half of our question and answer portion. We now move to our second and final fast talk round. So may another round pa tayo. As before, candidates will be presented with a series of statements and will indicate their position using one of the four responses. Again, agree with reservations, disagree, and disagree with reservations. This final segment provides voters with another opportunity to compare the candidate's position on issues that continue to shape conversations on campus, across the country, and around the world. So are you ready? Ready na ba? Can I get a thumbs up from the candidates? Okay, so ready na? Okay. With that, let us begin the second round of our fast talk. First is the legalization of abortion. Again, legalization of abortion. Agree with reservation. Okay. Next, hold on. Next is SOGI bill. SOGI equality bill. Agree, okay, agree. Thank you so much. Now, next, same-sex marriage. Same-sex marriage. Agree. Okay, thank you so much. Now, next is campus militarization. Again, campus militarization. The presence of military are in the campus. Sa mga campuses, sa schools. Disagree with reservations. Disagree with reservations. Okay. Next, mandatory SAL and disclosure for all elected officials. Again, mandatory SAL and disclosure for all elected officials. Agree, most of you agree, okay. Next one is mandatory public debates for aspiring candidates. Again, mandatory public debates for aspiring candidates. Agree, okay. Next, the transition to nuclear power in the Philippines or nuclear energy. Again, transition to nuclear energy or power in the Philippines. Agree with reservations, agree or disagree. Disagree with reservations, okay. Next issue, total ban on single-use plastics. Again, total ban on single-use plastics. Agree with reservations, agree, okay. Next issue, expansion of EDCA sites. Again, expansion of EDCA. EDCA is the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement with the U.S. Embassy. Presence of EDCA sites here in the Philippines. Disagree with reservations? Disagree? Disagree? Okay. Next, student governments or student councils taking official positions on national issues. Student governments taking official positions on national issues. For example, West Philippine Sea, or the Israel-Palestine conflict, and then the student governments has the responsibility to take official stand on it. Agree? Agree with reservations? Agree with it? Okay. Next is government regulation of social media platforms. Again, government regulations or regulation of social media platforms. Agree with reservations? Agree with okay. Next, lastly, the boycott of companies or boycotting of companies and public figures who supported the atrocities of Israel in Palestine. Again, boycotting of companies and public figures who supported the atrocities of Israel in Palestine. Agree? Okay, everybody agree? Okay, thank you so much. That concludes our second and final Fast Talk round. And with it, the official proceedings of today's Candidates Forum. Throughout this afternoon, our candidates have presented their platforms, responded to questions on a range of campus, local, national, and international issues, and shared their positions on matters of public interest. To formally close today's program, we now invite Cassandra Viralio, COMELEC Commissioner, to deliver the closing remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we come to the end of today's SSC MMCM meeting D Avance, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to everyone who made this event possible. To our candidates, thank you for taking the time to share your platforms, answer the questions, and participate in today's discussion with professionalism and respect. To our moderators, our today's host, Mr. Victor, the Compass, the SSC COMELEC, our technical team, and everyone working behind the scenes, thank you for your dedication and hard work in ensuring the success of this event. Most importantly, thank you to all the students who joined us today. We hope this meeting the Avance has helped you become more informed about the candidates and their visions for the student body. As we prepare for the upcoming elections, we encourage everyone to exercise your right to vote responsibly. Every vote matters, and every voice contributes to shaping the future of our student community. Once again, thank you all for your participation. On behalf of the SSC COMELEC, we wish everyone a pleasant afternoon, and we look forward to your active participation in the upcoming elections. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Viralio. That concludes the 2026 Supreme Student Council meeting the Avance. This afternoon, we witnessed more than a series of speeches. We heard visions for the student body, perspectives on issues that extend beyond our campus, and the leadership each candidate hopes to bring to the Supreme Student Council. The conversations end here, but the responsibility now rests with you, the students. As you prepare to cast your vote, we encourage you to reflect not only on the promises made today, but also on the principles, competence, and integrity demonstrated by each candidate. Always remember that democracy is strongest when its voters are informed, engaged, and discerning. May today's forum serve as a meaningful step toward making a thoughtful and responsible choice. On behalf of the Mapúa MCM Colleges Mindanao Student Commission on Elections and the Compass, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to our candidates, moderators, faculty members, staff, volunteers, and every member of the audience for making this event possible. To Ms. Shan Joyce S. Umpang, Ms. Lynn Juliet Lapatis from for Student Activities and Social Cultural, for Ms. Hannah Sato for the PowerPoint presentation. Before we officially conclude today's program, we kindly request everyone to accomplish the evaluation form flashed on your screens. Your honest feedback will help us assess today's forum and further improve future election initiatives and voter engagement activities. We also invite you to participate in our Student Trust Rating Survey, where you may share your level of confidence in the current Supreme Student Council candidates based on your own observations and experiences. Once again, thank you to our candidates and everyone who joined us this afternoon. I am Victor Harold Castro, and this has been the 2026 Supreme Student Council meeting, the Avance. And before we officially end this program, may we have a photo opportunity for photo documentation lang for our event today. So I am inviting everyone to please turn on your cameras for the photo opportunity. Hello, Curb, can you please